Hello everyone, today I am going to show you how I made homemade wine from large fruited Roman berries. Well, we will need the berries themselves. Here I have 6.5 kilos. I have already cleaned them from the leaves and things. The most important thing is not to wash the berries. Washing them would remove the natural yeast and the fermentation process wouldn't start. We will also need 150 grams of good quality raisins, 1.7 kilograms of sugar, and 7 liters of clean water. The berries need to be thoroughly crushed, and here you can get creative. You can use a blender, a meat grinder, or just your hands like I do. The goal is to end up with something like this. The berry should be completely crushed to release the juice. Next I added sugar and mix it well. Then it's time for raisins. They will help speed up the fermentation process. Finally, we pour in the water. If you happen to miss few berries, like I did, they will float to the surface, so you can crush them too. Now we need to mix everything very well, making sure that the sugar is completely dissolved, and the yeast will start covering the sugar into alcohol. Cover the container loosely to allow airflow. After about 12 hours, all the berries will rise on the surface, and it's important to stir them to keep the yeast working. Repeat this process every day for 5 days. And after 5 days, the first fermentation process is complete, and we move to the second. Start by transferring the mixture to the larger container, adding 1 kilo of sugar, and staining out all the berry pulp. Pour the liquid into a bottle. Here's a useful tip. The more bubbles rise to the surface during this process, the better. This helps oxygenate the wine, making the fermentation more efficient. Make sure to mix well to fully dissolve the sugar. Seal the bottle with a stopper and attach a fermentation lock. After just a few hours, you will see active fermentation with air rapidly escaping from the bottle. Keep the container in the dark place at the temperature of 19 to 21 Celsius. Fermentation usually takes several weeks. In my case, it took exactly 4 weeks. This next step is optional, but I like to transfer the wine to the clean bottle and let it age for a few more weeks. You can also bottle it right away. I find that letting the wine sit in the loosely sewed container gives it a richer aroma. When it comes to cork, you have two main options: cone-shaped and cylindrical. The cone-shaped ones can be pushed into the bottle by hand, while cylindrical corks require a special tool. I use the second option since I have this tool. It cost me about 80 euros on the Amazon. It's very easy to use. Just place the cork in the opening and press it down with the plunger. To bottle the wine you can use any method that works for you. I have a few different options, and they all work great. First method, simple tube. Place one end in the wine container and other in the bottle, and use your mouth to create pressure. Second, tube with small hand pump to create suction. And the third one, the method I'll be using, a pump that sits in the wine container and automatically transfers the wine into the bottle. Alright, let's start bottling the wine. I have prepared the bottles and sterilized them. To prevent any dirt from getting in, I also covered them with plastic caps. For convenience, it's best to place the wine container slightly higher than your table. This increases the pressure and makes the bottling process faster. Now you can start filling the bottles one by one. I always leave a little space at the top, creating a small air gap. At this stage, it's better not to introduce too many bottles into the wine, as this could affect its taste and preservation. I also always pour a small amount of wine into the bottle with a reusable stopper like this. That way, before gifting a wine from this batch, I can check if it has spoiled or if any mistakes were made during the process. Now let's move on, sealing the wine with a cork. As you can see, the cork is much wider than the bottleneck, so it won't just slide in easily. Here is a little trick. Place the cork in the boiled water for a few seconds. This will soften it, making it much easier to push into the bottle. Corking the bottle isn't difficult, but it does take a bit of pressure to push the cork in. And now one of the final steps. For this you will need a heater gun or hair dryer set to the highest temperature. Slowly rotate the bottle while heating the shrink cup. You can also use the lighter, which is much faster, but you will need to be very careful not to overheat the shrink cup, as it can melt. To look your bottle look more impressive, you can print a label. There are many free online services that help you design one. After that, just print it on adhesive paper and cut it out with scissors. That's it! We have made a wonderful wine without any preservatives, and it can be stored for up to 5-6 years at the temperature of 17 to 19 Celsius. I hope this video was helpful for you. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.